So, hallo, ich bin jetzt hier auf unserem Presse-Hands-on-Event von Doom Eternal in Berlin. Das ist wie gesagt für die Presse, aber ich bin ja Community Managerin, also habe ich mir auch für euch was richtig Cooles einfallen lassen und habe jetzt gleich Marty Stratton, den Executive Producer von Doom Eternal, im Interview und stelle ihm eure Fragen.
I'm Marty Stratton. I'm the executive producer of Doom Eternal and the studio director at id Software. Yeah, we have about 170 or 75 or so in our Dallas office, and then we have a small group of engineers that work out of our Frankfurt office. I think they're about 8 to 10 at this point. So, you know, relatively small team relative to some of the game devs that are the game dev teams that are out there. You know, I've heard of teams as high as 1,000 or 2,000, but we're really tight. We work really well together. Just some of the most talented people in the industry at id, and it's a pleasure to work with them every single day. My typical workday is it's kind of different every day. I usually start by trying to kind of get a sense of anything that happened over the night. You know, having the team in Frankfurt, they're kind of working on our off hours, which is really nice. We usually do nightly builds of the game, so we're always coming into a new build of the game with all of the work that's happened the previous day. So if anything has changed or broken, or, you know, we kind of get a report of what's going on. QA usually does a smoke test of the build, so we kind of know a status for the day, and a lot of times that will determine like what changes have to happen for the day. So really kind of get a lay of the land, and then I'm in meetings a lot. I work a lot with the production team, so pretty much all of the production planning is something I'm a part of. I'm occasionally in some of the creative meetings. Usually try to spend a good, you know, hour or so talking to Hugo. We have daily leads meetings where we go over the status of the project, what's important. Really, it's to try to make sure that we are operating efficiently as we can, that everybody has as much information as they can about what we're trying to accomplish. Yep. It changes every day. That's actually one of the parts of the job that I love the most. I sit out on the floor with everybody in a cube because I like being accessible, and I like when something needs to be done, or somebody needs a hand, or even when they don't bring it up, I often hear it, like from, you know, a couple cubes away, like this isn't working or this is a problem, and I can help just be a resource to keep the team efficient. So it really does change every day. I work a lot with the team at Bethesda, our marketing team, our business director Sean. We have an amazing production team at Bethesda that we work with, mainly Laffy on that front. I love working with people, and we work with so many, the leads on our team, the team members, the people we get to work with work with at Bethesda. It's the best part of the job, is I really do get to interact with just the best people in the industry, and make the best products. I mean, how can you not love working on something like Doom?
I completely agree with you.
It's fantastic. I think at a minimum it's 20. I mean, when we play it internally and play at the proper difficulty and are challenging and are looking for secrets and that kind of stuff, it takes 20 hours. It's actually one of the things that's made development even a little bit more challenging this time around, because on 2016 we could sit down, any one of us, and play through the game from beginning to end, a little fast, but kind of normal. We could play through it knowing everything in a day. Like you know, if you spent a good 8 hours, 7 hours, you could get through the game. You can't do that. Even us knowing the game really, really well, it takes a minimum of 2 days knowing the game and playing it almost solid for 2 days to get through it. And your first time through, again, if you're on a difficulty that's challenging you and you're looking and you're exploring the world and reading the codex and really really having a great experience. I mean, I think it'll take some players upwards of 30 hours. So it's a very big game. I think it's probably the biggest game we've ever made from just a campaign length perspective, but certainly from a scope perspective. Visuals, from beginning to end, we take the player on such a journey and show them things that they've just never seen in a Doom game before, and give them experiences. I mean, it was a big goal for us to push for taking players to places that are just fantastic and unbelievable. And man, the team has just delivered on so many fronts. It's fantastic. When you say a lot of story related to games, you tend to think of something like Last of Us or an Uncharted game.
Let's speak in Doom terms.
Yeah, in Doom terms, it's really for us more about Doom universe and giving players a sense of purpose behind things, and the even just the Doomslayer. I think what the story team and Hugo have done with the lore and the background. We just released our trailer, as you know, and I love reading YouTube comments because it's so much about the power of the Slayer, and it's so funny. Our community is the funniest freaking community ever. What I love about it is even indirectly, it's coming from 2016 and the Slayer's Testaments. I mean, those really established him, and to a certain extent that story, its lore. But I mean, it just gives it such a weight, just a fun weight, and we're always, we always say it. Doom is not about story, but in any media, I think it's fun to have something behind what you're doing, and certainly in Doom, you can dive into that and you can explore it, or you don't have to. I mean, you can skip every cutscene in the game. You don't have to read a single thing in the codex, and you would be doing just murdering demons 99.99% of the time.
So you can do both.
Absolutely, and if you're interested in it, if you love the questions that are being asked and posed to the player, if you want to dive in, man, there's a really cool background for everything, and we even still tend to do a lot of our storytelling in the environment. So I say it all the time. I would love players to just kind of, and I think they will, move through our world and look at like the downed mechs and the sentinel mechs and almost say like, I want to know more about that. I want to play that game. What happens in that world? And to me, that's what's exciting about our story. But it's very efficiently told. It's always about the power of the player. It's always about you. It's always very in sync with it's a big thing for Hugo. I know he's talked about it a lot, but the things that are represented in the story are very much in sync with exactly in sync with how you behave as a player. And that, I think that just makes it feel cohesive and really fun. It's always, but it's always fun. Fun first. That's really our.
That is a very good motto.
That's our motto, and it I think it shines through in everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, everything is new in Doom Eternal. It's really hard because I talk a lot as it is, and then when I get asked a question like, what's new in Doom Eternal, I literally could go on for the 30 hours of the campaign.
About combat a bit, or?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the combat, I would say, is more of a refinement from Doom 2016. There's definitely new mechanics. So like we've added things like the dash and monkey bars, the meat hook on the super shotgun. Those give you a speed in the world and just new movement mechanics that, oh my God, I mean, it's the most addictive part of the game. I challenge anybody to play Doom Eternal and then go back and play Doom 2016. Because I think it will surprise people how much the game has changed. And for the better. Like it's such a better game. I love Doom 2016. Doom 2016 is my favorite game, but this is such a better game. So great new movement mechanics. I think the the way that we've approached the resources and the resource management in the game is really unique. You know, we had things like glory kills and getting health, and to a certain extent, chainsaw. You know, it gave you ammo, but in 2016, but it wasn't meaningful because like there was ammo everywhere. You really didn't have to really think about it, and that's been a big focus this time around. Is, you know, we know players are sophisticated, they're smart, they're very good, they're very skilled. We wanted to give them a game that challenged them and had them thinking. You know, it's we always refer to the game as combat chess. This is speed chess, and you know we've given them a lot of tools to master, and as they master those skills, as they put them together, you get a sense of power and mastery, and like we call it a power fantasy, but it's this earned power fantasy. It's not something the game hands you, and that's really where the reward is. It's in that I've climbed the mountain and I'm standing on the top of it, and demons are charging up the mountain and I'm just beating the shit out of them constantly. So that's really, I think, the best part. That resource loop is something that players will have to get used to at the beginning of the game, but we're very deliberate in how we teach it. You know, you chainsaw for ammo, you glory kill for health, and then you get a thing called the flame belch, a shoulder-mounted rocket or a flamethrower that you light demons on fire with and shoot them, and you get all kinds of armor. One of our goals was to expand the worlds. We did it both from a gameplay perspective, because as you incorporated dash, it kind of broke the game a little bit. It made it so it was a little too easy. So we expanded the levels, more demons in the levels. Again, very deliberate combat. But we also wanted to give players just this epic sense of the world, massive world, big skyboxes, multiple set pieces per level. You'll really, I think it's hard to explain. You know, I think players are just feel. That's why we have a confidence in this, because, you know, we know once players get their hands on it, they're gonna have the same experience we do. But just we've pushed it in every way from a building the world's perspective, given them things like some traversal puzzles to kind of break up the combat just a little bit. Get them thinking about solving the world as much as they solve the combat, and that's just kind of scratching the surface of the new stuff. It's really from top to bottom. It's something that we've left no stone unturned, and with the extra time we've really been able to polish the game to a very high level. So it's something we're super proud of, and can't wait for people to play. The PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, which are, you know, everybody knows the newer higher end versions of those two consoles, they look and play like on a high end PC. I mean, it's really, really amazing. They're 4K, 60 frames per second, HDR if you have that. It's incredible. We're very fortunate. I mean, we have just our tech team is just unbelievable. And the great thing is we're at the end of a console cycle where they've been working with this hardware now for years and years, almost a decade. So they really understand the hardware. They can squeeze every bit and every just frame possible out of this hardware. And it's really coming through in the game. I mean, I think you see it on the screen all the time, and you feel it in the gameplay, because it just doesn't. I mean, it really is 60 frames per second is just, there's nothing that feels like that. And it's so important. So I really think no matter what players are playing on, whether it's a high-end PC or a console, even the base consoles, the PS4 and the PS4 and the base Xbox, fantastic. I mean, it just looks and plays amazing, and again, pretty uncompromising on the 60 frames per second. So whether you're a console gamer or a PC gamer, I think fans are going to have just an outstanding experience. You know, it's not bullshit. Sometimes you have to answer those questions and say, oh no, they're all really good platforms. But it's really true this time around. I think people are going to be really impressed.
Yeah.
There's hundreds. Like I don't even know how many. Like it's funny during development. One of our, we track all kinds of you track the development over the course of time, and the producer Matt that handles the glory kills, he had a chart that literally over the course of 2 years, it was just as the animation team churned through the number, because we figure out how many glory kills we need. We know like we want a front, a back, a side, a top for every demon at a minimum, and then some of them have even more than that. So we know from the beginning how many glory kills we have, and so those kind of all go into a list, and it's like hundreds or whatever. And I loved watching that chart just go boom till the end, and it was very fun when we got to the end. It was one of the best representations of like animation getting done, because that glory kill chart was going to the end. But the animators are Alan and his team are fantastic. They just they're so creative and a little disturbed at times when you think about that, but they're the nicest group of people, and they come up with some really funny stuff. It's not easy. I think it would be easier if it was a third-person game. I don't think I don't know that they're underappreciated because everybody likes them, but I think they're probably, it's not understood how hard it is to do that from a first-person perspective and make it look good. If we were a third-person game, I mean, it'd be way easier. But the fact that you have to get so close to a demon that is so big, like the scale of the player versus the demons, and it's one of the things they have the hardest time with. Like, they'll talk about it, like, you'll try to grab like from the player's perspective and with their FOV, the demon actually looks smaller than they are in real life. So when you get right on top of it and you try to grab like the horn of a demon, it's like grabbing like an elephant head. So for them to be able to do that and make it feel realistic, and at the same time capture the personality. You and I were talking the other day about the personality of some of the animations, and when you grab a demon, there's always this. It was one of the things that Hugo really kind of established well with the animators way back on Doom 2016, was kind of having a screenshot moment within a glory kill. So where you can see like the surprise or the fear, or you see something in a glory kill in the face of a demon that is like this moment of like, oh, I get it. And it happens very fast, but it's very impactful, and it's funny most of the time. So the fact that they combine that very difficult first person kind of grapple move, make it readable from a first person perspective, and then add that level of almost like instantaneous storytelling of that moment in the death of that demon, You even said you feel bad for them sometimes.
For some of them I feel really bad.
I never feel bad for a demon, but the fact that they can do that is, I think it's really one of the underappreciated aspects of what they do. It's very cool.
Yeah.
There's a kill on the Prowler where you break his arm and then stab him in the head with the bone of his arm. I think you actually do that to a couple demons. There's a really funny one. Everybody loves the one where you slam the zombie's head into his neck. That's pretty funny. There's one with our zombies. They're kind of mechanized zombies. They have kind of a gun that they raise up like this, and you can grab their gun and kind of put it in their mouth and shoot them in the head. That's really fun. The Arachnotron has some really good ones. If you kind of jump on him from the back top and do a glory kill, you'll grab his little arm things and jab him in his eyes. That's great. That's a great thing. Is like, everybody has a different favorite because there's so much there and so much personality in each of them. Daisy. Everybody loves Daisy. You got to search around for Daisy. I don't want to say too much. We have a really cool painting in the Slayer's hub in the Fortress of Doom that I think people will like. we have someone in our community that just does fantastic oil paintings, and we asked him if we could put one in the Slayers Hub. So it really is. But he's very good. He's done some amazing stuff, and he's sent us a bunch of those. We have a bunch hanging at the office, several of them hanging at the office. So he's super cool, and so we've hung one of his paintings with the Slayer with Daisy, and it's actually been pretty popular online. We've hung that there, and yeah, I that's not the end of Daisy in the game, but
so look for Daisy.
Look for Daisy. Can you fight God? That sounds like maybe a personal a personal issue they need to deal with if they need to fight God. You know, we do get into a bit of the heaven and hell in this game. Like most of our story, we like to leave things up to players to interpret what's happening, and so I wouldn't want to go too far into things. You definitely fight forces that you've never encountered before in Doom, and go to places that you've never seen before in Doom. So I'm very excited about that, giving players something new to do like that, and it's fun. It's fun to build a universe that players ask questions like that, and you can push them into the game. And even once they play the game, they get to debate it online as to what is happening. So I look forward to that.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes. It's not my favorite, but yeah, Hawaiian pizza. It's one of my son's favorites, so I'll have some with him.
Yes?
Yeah, I'll go with a yes.
Oh, guys, you just won, Marty. So thank you so much, Marty.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you.
Oh, this has been great. Appreciate it.